floods in South Dunedin, rogue waves in Wellington, droughts in Canterbury. Is this an example of climate? My question is it happening as we speak, or is climate change something that happens in the future? I went to the streets of Wellington and asked this question. Do you reckon it's 100% certain that climate change is caused by humans?
No, I don't think it is.
Yes, I think it is.
We may have some part to play in it.
No. Yes.
You know, there's other things that change a lot more.
Yes.
I was reading about volcanoes.
Yeah, definitely just through industrial change, pretty much.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
If it's not 100, I'd have to say like 90-ish%.
You know, there's volcanoes that have smothered the earth in ash.
Well, negative climate change is caused by humans. I think positive climate change just happens naturally.
Do you reckon that we're experiencing climate change as we speak?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Yes. Probably.
Only as much as we ever have.
Well, because I'm a Christian, I believe that God controls, most of it, and I think that the earth was a gift, and it's pretty much done with us, I reckon, because we just keep killing it and drilling oil and burning down all the trees and stuff.
There you go. So Mark Mitchell, climate change. Is it about volcanoes and God?
I don't know if it's about volcanoes and God, but I know that New Zealand is committed to reducing carbon. And,
I want to ask you, I guess the question I want to ask is this. Is it 100% certain that climate change is human-induced? So I want to go around the panel. What do you think?
I'm not going to get drawn on that.
No, I just want to ask. It's a very simple question.
No, I'm not going to get drawn into that debate. What I am going to say is that as a country, we've committed to reducing our carbon footprint.
Why don't you want
to? So we're saying that that's necessary.
I know, but why do you want to get drawn into that? It's very simple. If you're on the street, you say yes or no. So here, backbenchers, is climate change caused by humans 100%?
Well, there's science both for and against it. But what I'm saying is, as a government, as a country, we have committed to reducing our carbon footprint.
Is it 100% certain that humans cause climate change?
I think in the peer-reviewed studies last year, there was one author out of about 10,000 that thought it wasn't caused by human activities, and that person was probably funded by the fossil fuel companies.
So it's a yes. All right, what about you, Marama? Is it 100% certain, the science?
I absolutely believe what the young man said about volcanoes. No. No, I actually do believe it's about 98%. But there are some environmental factors, but actually humans, mate. Look what we've done.
All right. Phil Goff, what do you think? Is it 100% certain that humans cause the climate change?
Well, it's 100% certain that the humans are making the major contribution to it, and through humans, the cows. Because in our case, 48% of it comes out of the front end and the back end of a cow. But that's a human activity.
Okay,
so,
I want to go around the panel then.
We've got to take responsibility.
Is climate change, you know those the high tide, you know those rogue waves in Wellington, you know the floods in South Dunedin. Mark, is that climate change?
Well, the weather changes every day.
So,
if you're a surfer, you're probably happy that there's some...
I know the weather changes.
I was very sorry to see the little dog that got washed off the...
But I want to ask you, the floods in South Dunedin, the rogue wave, the droughts in Canterbury, is that climate change? Is that what we're seeing?
Well, Wallace, you're trying to draw me into the climate change debate, and I'm not going to be drawn into that. What I'm going to say is that New Zealand as a country, we are committed to an ETS. So
is that climate change then? Is those waves in Wellington, the floods in South Dunedin, is that climate change, Julianne Genter?
Climate change is already happening. We've had 13 of the 14 hottest years on record occurred this century.
So it's happening now?
And we're already seeing increased severe weather events because of it. That's what the insurance industry says. They're the people paid to assess risk for us in society. They say the increase in severe weather events is definitely linked to climate change.
Okay, I'll come to you too, but let's go to Damien.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty hard to ask this chap over here whether climate change is a thing, because how long have you been around for?
About 19 years.
Yeah, see, I mean, you wouldn't know, would you?
No. Not really.
We're looking for some collective wisdom here. I'm just trying to find a bunch of people that might remember whether things were like different in the in the 70s. Hello there, how are you? You were around in the 70s. I'm taking a wild guess.
Oh, much before the 70s.
Was it colder back then?
Lovely weather then.
Lovely weather. Do you reckon climate change, serious topic, climate change, real thing?
We have had climate change, definitely.
Yes, I definitely think we have had climate change. I'm not sure why.
You seem like a smart woman. Why do you think some people find it so hard to accept?
Husband, he's more.
He's more of a something. Okay. You're more of an expert on climate change?
I'm not sure I'm an expert, but the weather patterns throughout the world have changed quite significantly. We're getting more storms and surges and longer dry periods in this country than we've ever had in my lifetime.
Mark Mitchell says, but this weather, it changes every day. How can you know? So what would you say in response to that?
Try your question again.
Sorry, I speak very fast. Mark Mitchell said that, if I'm not misquoting you, Mark, that weather changes every day. The climate changes. What would you say in response to that?
The extremes of our weathers have changed significantly in my lifetime.
Good. All right. Well, I think it's a good time to go back to Wallace.
All right. So I want to ask this, Phil, then, Phil and Marama. What about this? The Greens want all legislation subject to a climate change test. All legislation.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Well, you can do that, but I think there are more important things.
Would you
to
do that?
Let me tell you what I think that we should do. First of all, the science is overwhelming. There is global warming. The ice caps are melting. More severe weather patterns. The sea level is rising. So we've got to do something about it because the costs, socially, economically, and environmentally, will be huge. So what do? The government says we'll set a target. So bold target, 50% by 2050. The trouble is, they've got no milestones by which to judge what they're doing, and global emissions in New Zealand, globally warming gases, are going up, and deforestation is going down.
So we're not doing enough.
So not only we're not doing enough, we're doing the wrong things now. So set your target, fine, but have a plan and have a path to get it, and then have a mechanism to make sure you're achieving your goals.
Marama.
Right, trending extreme weather events are real. We've seen that, and the gentleman here has said in his lifetime he's witnessed that. The Greens know about this stuff more than I do. I'm happy to go with their policy just quietly, except for this one, because you can't apply that piece of climate impact disclosure statement to every single piece of legislation. What about the Judicature Modernisation Bill? Should we put it to that?
Well, Julianne,
it wouldn't take much resource to answer the question. If it doesn't impact on climate change, they can just say it doesn't impact on climate change. What's important is that we know the new legislation that is going to have an impact on climate change, that is going to increase emissions, then it's there, it's transparent, and we can hold the government to account. It won't stop them from passing that legislation, but at least we can hold them to account.
You can identify that very easily. You've said you could identify that very easily. So why make a blanket statement that you'd put it on everything?
Well,
I think identify the things that it would make an impact on, and then do the judgment.
Put it on everything. What about you, Mark? Do you think that all legislation should pass through the filter of climate change?
I actually haven't had a look at the bill, but no, I agree with Marama. I don't think that it should. I think that at the end of the day, you're going to risk just slowing the whole process in Parliament down even more. I think most people would agree that we don't want to go in that direction.
We're not doing enough, are we, Mark?
we just have to stay focused and motivated to keep meeting our requirements under the Kyoto Protocol, which we're doing.
Our requirements are pretty. I mean, EU leaders have pledged to
footprint.
cut greenhouse gases at least 40% by 2013. That's talking. Our quotas are pretty minimal. What do you think?
They're too low. It should be 40% reduction on 1990 levels by 2030, and we need to have a plan to get there. That was the consistent message that came through the consultation the government's been running.
What would Phil do? What would you do?
We'd go 40% on CO2 by 2030, the same as the Europeans. I think we need to treat methane differently because we're yet to find the way in which we can reduce methane levels and emissions from livestock. So we'd be looking for an evidence-based approach to deal with that differently, but certainly 40% on CO2
Are you guys
gases.
concerned when you see the erosion that happens around the country? Some councils now are starting to say, look, let's start moving inland, let's start sort of building for the future. What do you think of that?
Well, all of our cities are built, or our big cities are built around ports, and they're built at sea level. So as you get the rise in the sea level, we're going to have to make major adjustments. That's going to be hugely expensive. Let's get in early. Let's put the remediative stuff in now. It'll be a lot cheaper to do it now than to leave it till it's pretty late in the day.
Do you have a coastal batch?
Yeah, but it's on the top of a cliff.
Okay, all right.
Wallace,
So
I've already had a
50 metres up.
cousin
All
whose
right.
batch has fallen into the sea. Already have families who are moving out of their coastal homes because they've fallen literally into the sea. We need to do something. Targets make sense, but we could do some practical things. We could have in Norway, what have they just trialled? Solar-powered cycleways.
Solar-powered cycleways?
Right, collecting solar energy and then distributing it into
Hands up around
homes.
the audience. Hands up, solar-powered cycleways in the cities here? Hands up. Oh, that's actually quite a lot. That's actually what 80%? 2 hands there.